Hello, and welcome to Sonspiration. If you're watching for the first time, Sonspiration is inspiration from the Holy Bible. I am a speaker and a Christian, so every Sunday I go into the Holy Bible and I find a powerful message to inspire you for the week. We have come to the last Sunday in the month of June, and this month we have been looking at a great topic called Do Not Forget. We have been looking at areas in our lives in which God has done powerful miracles to us. But when we allow all the happenings in the world to overwhelm us, sometimes we quickly forget that God remains the same today, tomorrow, and forever. And we begin to worry and panic, forgetting that God that saved us yesterday can save us today and forever. We went into the Bible and we looked at different scenarios of different people in which went through the same thing, and it showed clearly how God came through powerfully for them. And as we wrap the month off, I'll be looking at one of the most powerful stories in the Bible. Practically the greatest story that lays the foundation for Christianity. I'll be looking at the death and resurrection of Jesus, and I titled it, Jesus Our Saviour. Now, in line with the theme for the month, we all know what happened at Jesus' death. And if you don't, I will encourage you, you can jump in the Bible and have a good read. Several years and years ago before his death, even from the Old Testament book of Isaiah, there were several mentions of his dying and his resurrection. Even when the Israelites were in the wilderness and they were being bitten by snakes, and God told Moses to hang a snake on a stick, where were they going to look up to and they're going to find healing? And it was all an illustration of a time when Jesus was going to be on a cross to die for your and my own sins. And when you go through the story, you realize that very quickly, the disciples and the people forgot that Jesus mentioned several times, even in the New Testament, that he was going to die and he was going to resurrect. When the time came, they forgot. And that's why I want to remind us today, and that's why we call the theme this month is Do Not Forget. First, I want to look at the part where Jesus died and was buried. And when he was buried, in the morning, the women went there to go and embalm his body on the third day. And when they got there was an angel there sitting in the tomb. And the angel said to them, the Jesus that you're looking for has risen and is no more here, even paraphrasing. And the angel even said to them, he has risen as he has told you. So that means Jesus has told them, and even the angel reminded them that he has risen as he has told you. You know, when you tell someone something several times and then the person asks you again, sometimes you're like, just as I told you before, this is what the situation is. And it's exactly what the angel said to them, just a reminder to them, just as I have told you, he is risen. Then the women went to tell Jesus' disciples, and they didn't even believe. When you read the account in the book of John, they all ran to the tomb to go and see for themselves. Now, you'll expect that they've been with Jesus all this time. And they've heard him mention several times, I am going to die, I'm going to rise on the third day. And they would have thought, when the women came to them, they would have just thought, yeah, he said that before. But no, they had forgotten already. They said, nah, it's not possible. They stood up and they ran to the tomb. And when they got there, they went in and looked around and said, where is he? They had forgotten very quickly that he said he was going to rise. And thirdly, Thomas is very common because we actually call him Doubting Thomas. It's so easy to say Doubting Thomas. Even when somebody doubts things and they're told, we call it Doubting Thomas. But we have forgotten that we are just like Thomas. Several times we find ourselves in trouble and we panic and begin to worry, how am I going to get out of this? I love what one of the pastors said, I think it's called Vlad. You know, he said that when you go into battle, you go from a place of victory. You start from a place of victory. As even before you even lift a single finger, even say a single word, that battle you're about to face has been won already. Jesus' death and resurrection on the cross gives us victory over absolutely everything on this earth. Yes, he said we're going to have troubles, but yes, he said we have overcome the world. So when you go into a trouble, you need to step into it with a winning mindset. I'm in this game. I've won already. I always love saying that this world, everything that we do as Christians, believers in Jesus, is that the fact that we have won already. When Thomas turned up, he was doubting. He said, no, I have to see him physically with my own eyes. And that's another thing too I've learned over the years. We've been taught seeing is believing. But when you walk by faith as a believer of Jesus, believing is seeing. You have to believe first and then you will see. And that's what faith is all about. Thomas said, I want to see. I want to put my hand through his side where he was pierced. I want to put my finger through in his hand and see where the nails were put through. And when Jesus appeared to him, he said to him, there I am. Because Thomas was doubting, even though Jesus said it several times, I'm going to die, I'm going to resurrect on the third day. I want to encourage you. On that cross, Jesus said, it is finished. And that statement means finished. In Africa, we say finished, kaput, done. He said it is finished. It was a closed chapter. The suffering, the pain, the sickness, the poverty, the worry, whatever it is you are going through, shake yourself up this week and say, on that cross, Jesus said it is finished. Believe it and you will see it. That situation you're looking at in the face is finished. Do not forget those words of Jesus. He went onto that cross for you and I so that we can be saved. We can have hope. We can have peace. We can have victory over anything we face on the face of this earth. So that is my encouragement to you. As we wrap June on, as we go into month number 7, the rest of the year, start believing in a different way. Shift it around, believe, and you will see how powerful God will move for you for the remaining half of the year 2023. Stay blessed, and I love you all.